The lighting is not the best, but good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope this video finds you all safe, well, healthy. So this has been such a week. I'm sorry if I'm a little monotone and dragging this morning. I really should have more energy. That's why I am drinking my coffee. But last night, my family and I, we were celebrating the Bahamas independence. And what was supposed to have been our family reunion in the Bahamas this weekend, we had been planning it. We were supposed to be there in Bimini for the entire weekend. And of course, the virus happened and we couldn't go. So we decided to do a Zoom family reunion for most of us that we could get on, and it was so much fun. My mom was there, and we shared some stories about family history for the younger generation and shared some of our fondest moments with one another. And, just hoping and praying that we can get to do that next year. This time we can all be together, and I'm hoping that for all of us, for you and your family, that next year this time that we're able to have family celebrations and come together and many different ways to celebrate life. But this week entirely has just been I can't even find the word. Fantastic. It's been awesome, fabulous. Of course, I hosted Phoenix Rising Stories. The event was a huge success, and mostly because of all of the panelists that I had on as well. They really helped make the event. Everyone came with not just their stories, but they just brought so much wisdom and so much information. And if you have not had an opportunity to watch this, please go on to my Facebook business page, Marjorie E. Phoenix. The recording is there. You can also go on my YouTube and see it, but you will not be disappointed. What was interesting about this is I had 3 men and 3 women, and I started off with the 3 women. And coincidentally, all of the women had gone through some sort of domestic abuse situation. And, it just, to hear the way they took that situation that happened to them and they flipped it on its head and they used it as a platform and a stepping stone to go out and do something in the world was just so inspiring. And I wasn't surprised, right? But I became re-inspired, because that was the whole premise behind why I did this event anyway, because that is exactly what I did. I took my story, my situation, I flipped it, used it as a platform, and went out to change the world. And so as I was creating this event, I knew that I wanted to give people another step that they can take after that. After hearing all of this information and being inspired, what do you do with that? And I'm all about applying the information that you have. So I created a 2-hour workshop called the Phoenix Moment. And I define the Phoenix Moment as that moment in your story where you say no more. No more, not today, devil, no more. And you decide that you're going to take this situation and you're going to take control of it. Something switches in your head, in your brain, in your heart, that you now know that what has happened to you actually happened for you, but it is also happening for others. So how do you go about doing that? And I remember for me, when my situation happened, I knew, listen, from the first night I was in jail and I was on the floor on a cot, I knew God was going to do something. I knew the universe had something else in store for me. No clue what, because I'm in the middle of it. But I knew in my heart of heart that something was coming out of this. So it was important for me to get through this. And so when I became open to that, and I knew this was not going to be the end of my story, I opened myself up to learning, to growing. I opened myself up to let God do the work he needed to do, right? So that's a whole other process that I can get into. But what I want to share with you is why I wanted to do the workshop is because in that workshop, what I want to help you do is discover your Phoenix moment, what your Phoenix moment was, that value of your story that you can take and flip it and use it as a platform to, write your book, start your nonprofit, start your movement, whatever it is that you want to do. And you may not know now, but what happens in that process is you will discover what that is. Because we're going to go through your hero's journey. It's going to be a very creative and fluid process to where I take you through your hero's journey and we just really look at your story from a different perspective. You're going to discover the things that really piss you off. You're going to discover the things that something you learned and you're like, that's a piece right there. So it's almost like writing your story, but you're not having to publish it. You don't have to publish a book. Not everybody wants to do that. You might just want to have a little TED Talk or a speech, or you want to be able to be a part of a local organization that does work with a group of people, and you want to be able to use your story in that way. That's right, Yvette. Flip your moment. Flip that moment, and that is your Phoenix moment where you are rising up out of the ashes. So we're going to look at that. And here's an important thing I want you to know about this process. I don't want you to start judging your story. I don't want you to measure it against everyone's. Because when I did that event on Thursday, we had one woman who had actually gone to jail for having to kill her abuser from self-defense, right? To, one woman who, she endured 21 years of abuse and then was strategic about how she left and when she left and everything in between. The men's story was totally different, but just looking at it from that aspect, right? So no comparing. Your story is unique. Your story is valuable. And a lot of people need to hear it or hear from you and what you got from it, the lessons you learned from it. So you have something to offer. So we'll do that, and then we'll look at using your voice. How will you use your voice? Metaphorically. And we will also look at how you can actually use your voice when you go to speak, when you share your testimony. All of that we will discover into. And now that's a lot, but that's just the surface part of my 90-day program. But I want to introduce you to that, that process, just to get, your creative juices flowing, just to get you open to really see the value in your story and in your voice. So the workshop is going to be next Thursday on the 16th. If you go to phoenixmoment.eventbrite.com, you can register for it there. There's only 10 slots because with something like this, I really want to be able to work intimately and closely with each of you. And, I think it's better that way, especially when we're dealing with survivor stories. That's going to be important. So if you are not able to attend on that day, go to my website at marjoriephoenix.com and click on my discovery session on my calendar, and we can schedule some time, 30 minutes, to just chat and talk about your story and what do you want to do? What are you thinking? How do you want to use your story? And then how you and I could possibly work together in making that happen, okay? But again, just God has just held me up this week because I have been running on empty. But at the same time, I've just been so excited about the opportunities that's been coming, even from the event and the people that have been reaching out to me about other opportunities as well, and about sharing their story. And this is what happens when you step out, use your story, and use your voice to change the world. You change your life, you change other people's lives, and this is what it's all about at the end of the day. So I hope that this message has blessed you in some way, and please like it, love it, share it, all of that. And I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Like I always say at the end, go out and change the world. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.